I just need a minute. I have notes, but we're just going to hit pause and we're just going to sit here for a minute. For some of you it might be awkward. Some people aren't good at these prolonged silences. But you can't say, speak God, speak Holy Spirit, and then rush past it and not give the room for Holy to speak. I don't know what brought you to Thrive today or what made you watch. I don't know what it is that you might need or what you're looking for. I only know that if you're looking for it in me, you won't find it. If you're looking for it in Marcy or Kay or anybody else, you won't find it because we're just people. And we'll mess up and we'll goof up just like everybody. But if you sincerely seek it from Holy, I believe that Holy will meet you where you are. I get that sounds a little crazy to some people. You talk to somebody you can't see, you believe somebody you can't see is going to touch you, is going to be a part of your life, be in your situations. I get it. It sounds like something from Twilight Zone. But I can't convey to you the realness that I feel. I can't make you feel what I feel. I can't make you be open. I can't make you do anything. I can only tell you that Holy's here in this place. Holy shows up. Every time we're praying and singing, Holy come on, Holy show up, Holy show out, Holy shows up. So if you're sitting there going, well, how come I can't feel it? Maybe something's not right here. Maybe it's that you're not seeking. Maybe it's that you're not open. We sing, here's my heart, speak to me, speak what's true. But if you ain't doing like this and listening, then how's the message going to get to you? This ain't got nothing to do with my notes. I'm winging it. We have broken parts. We have broken pieces. And they have to be mended. We have to be whole. And the only way we can be whole is if we truly open ourselves and say, Holy, come fix it. I can't fix it. I can't come sit on your lap and make anything better. But maybe as we open and as we seek and as we say, come on, show us who you are, really show us who you are, maybe some of those broken places start filling up with light and with love. And maybe we start feeling like people who can actually go and do things, can actually change the world. Maybe we start feeling like people who have a reason to be happy, a reason to be joyful, people that want to dance, even though I do not do that. What if? And it all starts by being open. Here's my heart, God. Speak what's true. So what if the truth that God wants to speak is, guess what? I've been speaking and you ain't listening. I've been telling you for a while now what it is that we're after and what it is that we're about, and you're not listening to me. So how many other voices do I need to use to reach you? Sometimes it takes a lot. Sometimes God has to use a lot of people. God had to go through lots of folks to get to Christy. It took lots of voices. Because I was not listening. I would say, God, please help me. But then when God would say, well, how about we do this? I go, oh, I ain't doing that. I'd say a lot that this is relationship. It's about being in it together. It's about doing it together. Not just us together, but us and holy. We have to have that connection. We have to have it so that when Holy speaks, we go, whoop. Y'all heard that? We got to go. We got to go do this thing now. Instead of just sitting there. When we know that people need us, when we have opportunities given to us, that's holy. Saying, let me use you for a second to show somebody else what love is. And it's hard for some people to be open. It's hard for some people to trust. Because again, I get it. It does sound like something out of Twilight Zone. But what if? What if opening ourselves up and going, Holy, use me. Holy, speak to me. Holy, heal me in all the broken places. What if that not only changes you, but changes the next person you meet? And then they go and change somebody else because they're sharing the love that you've let yourself be a part of. It all comes back to that being open to letting love radically wreck you. And it is a wrecking. Because you know as well as I do, there's some people we would rather not talk to. We would rather just walk right on past them and act like we ain't seen them. But radical love calls you to something else. And now I'm going to try to get on track. In Ephesians chapter 2, Paul was dealing with people that were sort of in that boat. There were two camps. There were the Gentiles, which basically meant anybody that wasn't Jewish. And then there were the Jews. Two camps of people. This camp really preferred not to have to deal with that camp. This camp was confused by this camp and really didn't want to deal with them either. But they all had experienced teachings of Jesus. So they all knew about this love. And they all wanted to seek and they all wanted to experience it. But how, when you're so different, do you come together to do this thing together? So in Ephesians chapter 2, Paul writes them a letter, or at least we say it's Paul. There's a little bit of, doesn't matter. There's a letter to the church. Christ tore down the wall we used to keep each other at a distance. He repealed the law code that had become so clogged with fine print and footnotes that it hindered more than it helped. And then he started over. Instead of continuing with two groups of people separated by centuries of animosity and suspicion, he created a new kind of human being. A fresh start for everybody. Christ brought us together. Christ came and preached peace to you outsiders and peace to us insiders. He treated us as equals and made us equals. Through him, we both share the same spirit and have equal access to holy. That's plain enough, isn't it? You're no longer strangers. You're no longer outsiders. You belong here. God is building a home, using us all, no matter how we got here. We see it taking shape day after day. A holy family built by God, all of us a part. A family in which God welcomes us all home. You belong here. Both camps, they belong. Why? Because Jesus called them. If Jesus calls you, who's your crew? The people that are following Jesus. Don't matter what your label was. Doesn't matter what your label is. You're called by the same thing. Jesus and that radical love. It spoke to people. It made people want to be a part of something. It made people want to change their world. That radical love is still speaking. But what are we doing with it? Are we still going, well, you know, we're the MCC church and they're the Presbyterian church and we don't mix? Do we sit here and say, well, we'll do church together while we're in here, but when we're out there, all bets are off? I might talk to you if I see you on the street, Sally. Might. I might walk right past you. Come on, you're quiet. You know I'm telling the truth. It's human nature. We want to be apart, but we don't want to be apart. We want to be in community, but oh God, I got to get up and go do something. We want to seek God. We want to be a part of holy things. But then when holy says, let me use you, no, why do you have to do that? Go use Kadell or Tom. Anybody but me. Pick somebody else. But how is that going to work? If it's always you versus me and your team and my team, if we're always on these opposite ends, how do we ever accomplish the holy work that we've been given to do? There has to be a point where we do what? Where we go, come go with me. Come go with me. We're going to do this stuff together. We're going to do this together. I know you don't like people. It's okay. We're going to do it. We're going to walk together, and we're going to do good things. And Holy's going to be with us every step of the way. And Holy's going to reach down and touch you and bless you because you're trusting Holy to do that. And then we're going to go, and we're going to say, now you come be with us. I don't care what your team was. Was you Team Jacob? I was. Oh, you got to go sit down. I'm Team Edward. I'm cute. We have to go and we have to get one another and we have to hold on tightly and we can't let go. But if we're not in the same community, how do we go grab hold of each other? How do we get, you can go. How do we get people to come be a part of it? How do we go and say, hey, join us? So what we've attempted to do in the past is, okay, well, we're going to feed y'all. Y'all come eat. We're going to cook food. Y'all going to come eat. We did that. Tried that. Then we've tried, what else have we tried? Way back in the day, we tried drag bingo. See if we could get people to come together. We've tried Friday night movie night. We've tried, what else have we tried?
Game night.
Game night. Let's go to Lake Ella after church and feed the homeless, which you would think, well, from my perspective, you would think that would have been a huge hit. That's the work that we're called to do. You would think everybody would want to go to that. No, not so much. But we keep trying. We keep trying to find ways to make people want to do things together, so that they're not alone, so that they're not walking alone. And then somebody says, well, you do know there's introverts and extroverts, right? Yeah. You do know that sometimes the introverts, they don't want nothing to do with you extroverts. Okay. But even the introverts have to say, God, speak to me. And even the introverts have to listen when God speaks. Extroverts, we need the introverts. Because I'll go off the rails like that. You got to hold on to me and keep me where I'm supposed to be. That's why she all the time flashing signals at me. Too much, you got to go over your time limit. Shut up. And I go, you shut up. God talking, I'm going. But it takes all of us. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're an introvert. It doesn't matter if you're an extrovert. It doesn't matter if you're an innie or an outie, as they were talking about. An insider versus an outsider. Who decides that stuff? It's stupid. It's made up. It's bull. There's no insider versus an outsider. We all belong here. We all belong in Holy's presence. We all belong in the Holy family. We all have work to do. So, how? How do we even begin? And board members are all sitting here giggling because we talk about this stuff. How do we begin? So here's how you begin. It's the same message over and over. I'm sorry if you're tired of hearing it, but maybe eventually you'll go and do it. We have to mean it when we say, God, speak to me. And then when God speaks, we have to actually get up and do what God says go do. We have to trust. We have to trust that if God calls us to something, then we're meant to do it and we're going to get through it. And who knows, maybe by the time we reach the end of it, we look back and go, that was some fun jump we just did. Why? Because it's together. Together. We play that song every week at the end of service. We are family. You know, We are family. Y'all ain't pay attention to the music at the end. That song plays as you leave here every week. Why? Because we are family. And what happens in a family if somebody's hurt? Like in my family, my granny got hurt and she was in the hospital. You know what happened? Everybody in the family, even the redheaded step-cheering, she ain't wanted up in there, showed up at the hospital. Tell me, where y'all put my granny? What y'all doing to my granny? So if K-Dale, I have to use K-Dale because K-Dale won't beat me up. If K-Dale is having a hard time and is falling apart, it's us. It's on us to go to K-Dale and go, K-Dale, you can lean on me. What do you need? How can I help you? Jesus said love. Love, love, love. I'm tired of it, right? It's hard stuff. It's a little bitty word, but it's so freaking hard. And she's flashing the time signal again. Anyway, you're right. Now Kato's helping you. Love is a little word, but it's huge. The implications of it are huge. It's no easy thing to do. And it's no small work. It's a massive work. See, we like to throw it around and, oh, we love everybody. But I promise you, if Donald J. Trump walked through that door right now.
Punch him in his face.
Now, see, that was ugly right there. Don't be saying that out loud in church. But if he walked through that door right now,
I'd help her.
I can't lie. I can't lie. I would probably watch a bunch of you try to run through that door and then on out the back door, even though you don't even know where the back door leads to. You would probably try to leave here. I might be leading the procession. I'm not sure. Because loving people is hard, especially when they're really good at the us versus them thing. Right? And he is good at it. He's really good at it. He's good at saying, no, we're this. You don't belong. Get out. He's really good at drawing those lines and building the boxes around himself. Now, bear with me because this might rock you a little bit. You know he's just a broken man, right?
Yep.
He's just broken.
Yeah.
That's all that's wrong with him. He broke.
Yep.
Broke people hurt people. That's what they do.
Yeah.
He a broken somebody, and all them evangelicals that pray around him during those prayer services, they ain't really praying the right way, because if they was really praying the right way, Mr. Trump would meet Jesus. And healing would start to begin. And then all this bull shenanigans that he does would cease. Why? Because when the Spirit of God is here, you can't behave in those ways. It's a conflict. And God's going, what you doing? You don't know. No. Shh. Let me drive. And when you get out of the way and you let the Spirit of God drive, what happens? Change. Change happens. He's just broken, y'all. So we could run from him if we wanted to. But what we should really probably do, if he's ever brave enough to walk through our door, is to lay hands on him and say, peace of God, be healed. Spirit, minister here. Whatever it is, fix it, Jesus, because Christy can't. And it's the same prayer we have to pray for us and for our community. Because let's be honest, we're broken people too. We all have spots. Don't be trying to act like you ain't got none. We all have those places and those things that we don't want people talking about. We don't want them poking at it. Why? Because it hurts. And those are the areas where we have to say, God, please, breathe on me. Bring those dead places back to life. That dream I had that I let the world steal from me, bring that back to life. That joy I used to have that I let the world take from me, bring that back to life. That hope I used to live by, bring that back to life. Everything that is good and holy and true, bring that to life inside me. And then help me spread it everywhere I go. That's what it's about. Because we all belong. There's no insider, there's no outsider. We all belong. God is using you. You're the pieces that have to build this big old family. God can't use you if you're constantly going, la, 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 la. Yeah. Running, hiding, not listening. I got bad news, y'all. I went that route. You can't outrun God. You can try. But why do you think I cut all my hair off? Because sometimes Holy will grab you by the hair of the head and snatch you back. So I tried to cut it all off so there wasn't nothing for Holy to grab hold of. You can't outrun Holy.
Okay.
You can't outrun Holy. When Holy calls you to something, Holy's not going to leave you alone. Holy's going to keep coming back and going, are you ready yet? Are you ready yet? Are you ready yet? Are you ready yet? Are you going to come follow me? Or are you going to keep doing this other thing that's leading you into more and more depression, more and more bad crap? Or are you going to trust me? Because I'm still here. I haven't left. Do you want to trust me or do you want to do it your way still? And you know, some of us like to crank up the Frank Sinatra. I did it my way. Y'all, my way was bad. My way would have ended up in death, spiritual and otherwise. My way was no good. You keep trying to do it your way, I promise you, your way ain't no good neither compared to what Holy has for you. There's no insider, there's no outsider. We have to do it together. And sometimes doing things together means we have to think about what's best for the whole and not just about what's best for us. We have to consider everything. God, what's the big picture? Where is this going? What is it you want bigger picture-wise? Not just Christy. Big picture. What is it? Where is it going? How do we get there? And sometimes that bigger picture matters more. And we have to do the things that are required of us to get us there. There's lots of examples I can use for this. The one I will use is, for instance, healthcare. Bigger picture is if we can keep more people healthy and more people well, should costs go up or down?
Down. They
should go down. So wouldn't it make more sense to spend more money to try to keep us all healthy and whole so that we're not having to spend more later? If we spend it now, get everybody what they need, keep them in the doctor, keep them on the stuff they need, they don't have to worry about it. Yes, that's some expense, but what's the benefit? We have a healthy, whole community. If you have healthy, whole people in a community, what do? They give back. They try to help one another. They become generous. They become happy. They're free. There's a burden lifted. So yeah, the bigger picture sometimes might cost you more money to begin with. But the end result, can you imagine? Can you imagine if the people you knew never had to worry about health care again? We have a bunch of people in this church who don't have health care because of whatever jobs they work or whatever. They worry. Well, what happens if I start running a fever? How am I going to pay for that? What happens if, God forbid, I cut off my arm? How am I going to pay for that? They worry about these things. And the more you worry about things, what happens? You ain't got no room for joy. You ain't got no room for dancing. You're not light. You're heavy. And what's the solution to it? Community. It all comes back to community. It all comes back to loving one another as we love ourselves. It all comes back to doing the things we know are right. The things we know God is calling us to do. Instead of going, speak God, no, I don't want to do that part. We have to say, speak God. And I will listen. It might be uncomfortable and I might not like it. But I'm going to listen and I'm going to follow you. Because where the Spirit of God is, there's freedom. Where the Spirit of God is, there's joy. Where the Spirit of God is, there is happiness. Where the Spirit of God is, there is lightness. Where the Spirit of God is, there is love. Where the Spirit of God is, there is kindness. Where the Spirit of God is, there is peace. Where the Spirit of God is, there is hope. Christy, you said that to us last. I'm going to say it every week until you hear me. God's trying to tell you. God keeps trying to tell you. Come to me, lay it all on me, I can handle it. Let me take that and you take joy, peace, happiness, love, kindness, gentleness, self-control, patience, all the good stuff. You take that, I'll take this, and we will get you through this. Holy and your community. But we have to mean it when we say, Speak God. So here's where I'm going to leave it. I want God to speak to me. Sometimes you'll like what God says to me and that I share. Sometimes you might not. Sometimes I might not like what God shares with you. It's going to be okay. Because we all have to trust wholly. And we all have to believe that if we do this together, we're going to be okay no matter what comes. We're going to trust God. We're going to trust one another. And we're going to hold tightly to the love that has built us into a community. And we're going to keep doing what we do, which is thriving.
That's right.
There's no insiders. There's no outsiders. Every one of you belong here. And all the people said,
Amen.
Amen.